Thank you for watching WUPV CW Richmond.
On your side, this is 12 News Today.
I just want justice for my sister. That's what I want. That's what I want from this.
A Henrico family desperately searching for answers after a hit and run nearly takes the life of a loved one. See exclusive video of those terrifying moments as they hope someone will step up to help them find whoever is responsible. Developing overnight, a flash flood emergency declared in Petersburg and the Tri-Cities. We're sharing the details as a flood threat looms. Plus, the First Alert Weather Team says more rain is on its way. When and where we could see these next few storms today. What you need to know to stay safe. A busy Tuesday morning. Thank you for waking up with us on 12 News Today. It's now 8 a.m. I'm Macy Morris. Right over to you, Candace. How are we doing now?
Yep, so still seeing some delays this morning in Caroline. A lot of those roads are still flooded.
Oh yeah, we've seen a lot of rain these past few days. We had a First Alert Weather Day yesterday, caused some very severe flash flood warnings, continuing into this morning as well. So we tagged today another First Alert Weather Day as our flood watches have been extended today through the evening. I think the rain will be tapering off though later into the evening for later in the night plans. But in the afternoon, we're going to see some more downpours. That's why that flood watch is going to continue today. Our Doppler radar right now, though, most of the heavy rain has exited. Now our most southernmost counties are seeing just some light rain left over, but we are still seeing some of these flood warnings that have been extended until 11 a.m. this morning. And Emporia's flood warning should be gone in about 15 minutes or so. Candace?
Thank you, Caroline. So we're heading here along Chippenham this morning where we're seeing those heavy backups due to a crash right near the split from Chippenham to Powhite. It's slowing us down along Powhite and then those delays as you're coming from Chesterfield. So past Hull Street, past Midlothian Turnpike, we'll be dealing with those backups. Getting into the Richmond area, it'll be a slow commute through our Bryan Park interchange, our Shaka Valley Bridge dealing with delays stretching back as far as Mechanicsville Turnpike. Those flooded roadways include Turner Road here between Belmont and Jessup Road. We also head down towards Dinwiddie where we know we have Boynton Plank Road impacted as well as Church Road. Macy?
All right, we'll take it, Candace. Thank you. This morning, many people in Petersburg and the Tri-Cities are waking up to find flooded streets after a night of downpours. Several people reaching out to us overnight reporting seeing high waters in their basements. Our Destiny Harris is on your side working to learn more about those high waters.
Well, the good news is that conditions here in Petersburg are improving. Earlier, my boots were covered with water and water was rushing here out of the creek. Now, this is Lieutenant's Run Creek. I'm standing here on McKeever Street, right by Wythe Street, West Wythe Street, which gets on to I-95. But water is still standing in the road and it's still extremely dangerous to drive through. Petersburg city officials did not come through to close this road, but residents are using their best judgment and not traveling through these high waters. And this gauge of the river is usually 4 feet. Right now it's measuring at about 12 feet, which is considered major flood risk for this area. And the flood warning has been extended through 11 a.m. earlier this morning. That was just until 7 a.m. But again, it's been extended for a few hours. So if you're heading out this morning, make sure you turn around, don't drown, and do not drive through those high waters. In Petersburg, I'm Destiny Harris, 12 on your side.
Destiny, thank you. And with this First Alert Weather Day, now is a great time to download the 12 on your side First Alert Weather app. You can get the latest alerts sent straight to your phone and see real-time updates on traffic and road conditions. Scan the QR code right here on your screen or search for us in the App Store. In Hanover, crews are working to repair a water main break affecting people in several neighborhoods this morning. Right now, officials say the break has been isolated and water pressure is building back up, but it could still be lower than normal for people in Ash Creek, Boxhead, Milestone, and King's Charter. There's no boil water advisory and you should be safe to drink your water. And a traffic alert for Henrico drivers this week. First, part of Libby Avenue near Bethlehem Road will be closed until Friday afternoon for utility work. Starting today, Meadow Road will be closed between Hanover and Hartwood Drive while crews install a sewer main. And once that's done, Meadow will be closed again every day from 9 to 4 for utility work. That work is expected to continue until the end of the month. Surveillance video only obtained by us shows the moment a woman was hit by a car on Richmond Highway. Thankfully, she survived, but now her family is demanding answers. On July 6th, Alexis Parker was hit by a small sedan on Richmond Highway around 10 o'clock at night, and the entire incident all caught on camera right here. The driver of that car speeding away while other cars pulled over to stop traffic to help her out of the road. Parker's leg was seriously hurt and she still can't stand. Her family is angry with that driver and say they're still waiting for answers from Richmond police after calling time and time again.
I called again and I spoke to another officer, and it was at that point that he informed me that, unfortunately we just had to be patient until a detective could be assigned to the case, because at that point in time no detective had been assigned.
I just want justice for my sister. That's what I want. That's what I want from this.
We did reach out to Richmond police, who say the crash is still under investigation, but would have more details today with the detectives in charge of that case back at work. Anyone with any information that can help find the driver of that sedan, please call Richmond Police or Crime Stoppers at 804-780-1000. A former school building in Powhatan with historic significance to African Americans in the area will be partially torn down. This is despite efforts to save the once segregated school. Our Sarah Shackles has more on the controversy.
A spokesperson for Powhatan County Public Schools tells me demolition was set to begin today on this old portion of the school, but that's been put on pause due to delays in the building permit approval process. Meantime, Powhatan County leaders tell me there's still hope.
Figure out what to do with unused space at the current Pocahontas Landmark Center for years. It is the site of the first consolidated African American school landmark center for years. It is the site of the first consolidated African American school and who attended the school during segregation. But several sections are in bad shape, with all agreeing one portion is beyond repair. Powhatan's boards are in bad shape, with all agreeing one portion is beyond repair. Powhatan's Board of Supervisors is offering to take on the cost of renovating 2 other sections if they can use the space for a community center and allow school administration to continue using the oldest, most historic part for offices.
If you can use space that's already available within the county and renovate that space, you can save a tremendous amount of money for the taxpayers, which is what we're looking to do.
I am blessed to be able to represent the majority of our African American constituents in my district.
Michelle Ward, the only school board member voicing opposition to the demolition until the very end, noting that the Black community raised the funds to construct those buildings, and if they can be preserved for their historical value, then they should be. But the majority of school board members oppose handing over control to the county, voting instead to demolish all 3 sections that need repairs.
The parts that they want are not the historic part. The cafeteria, all of that was not part of the original historic building, and I feel that we have saved the historic part of the building. If somebody came to me and said, Mrs. Wade, I am going to take over your house, you can stay in it, but I'm going to own it. I'll pay all your bills, but I'm going to own it. That's what they want. They don't want to come in and save the building. They want to come in and take the building.
We're not interested in kicking them out of space that's best served for them. But what we are interested in doing is working together.
The school board is budgeting $830,000 to tear down the buildings.
I'm told there's still no date set yet for when demolition will begin. In Powhatan, Sarah Shackles, 12 on your side.
Sarah, thank you. Meantime, Richmond is planning a big birthday celebration for Maggie Walker. Today marks the pioneering banker's 161st birthday. Walker is the first African-American woman to charter a bank. 2 weeks of events honoring her legacy already underway and will continue through Saturday the 19th. It includes special tours of the Maggie Walker House and a day of service on Saturday, with a full list of events over on our website and our app. 808 overdue, Caroline. It is a first alert weather day.
It is. Once again, we're seeing a lot of rain today. We've already seen a lot of rain, so our ground is very saturated. We're going to see some more downpours earlier in the day today, but right now in Richmond, we've dried up a little bit, 74 degrees. It is very humid outside though, but you can see on our sky cam, there's even a little bit of blue sky up there, so we're getting a little bit of a break from the rain, but we are expecting another round of some showers and downpours to come through earlier in the day today. Once again, starting anywhere around 11 a.m. we're starting to see that rain chance start to taper up a little bit. Best rain chance definitely going to be after lunch, and then we're going to see a little bit of relief in the evening. You can see on that hour by hour that storms could start pretty early in the day today. Around 2 p.m. we'll get a little bit more widespread for those downpours, but it does look like most of the showers and storms exit after 5 p.m. Looking like your evening plans may be dry. We even see a little bit of clearing up right before sunset today. Now we're looking at the precipitation forecast for the next rain chances. Tomorrow we'll see another rain chance, but it does start to taper off. We're going to dry up a little bit as we go into late week and into the weekend for just a little bit of relief from all of this rain that we have been seeing. Now we're looking at today's overall forecast. The hourly around noon, we'll start to see that rain chance start to pop up. Definitely increasing though into the afternoon. High temperature today just getting into the upper 80s. Tomorrow we'll be getting closer to 90. Candace, how are the roads looking?
Yeah, not too good, Caroline. We're still seeing those delays. We're taking a look at your commute here along the First Alert Big 3 that has you heading into our Richmond area. So northbound at 95, Critter Road to the Downtown Expressway. Expect about a 23-minute commute. You'll notice all 3 commutes are yellow. We like to see that green indicating no delays, yellow indicating we've got some stop and go traffic throughout that commute. Ladysmith to Belvedere will take you 39 minutes. Like to see that closer to 33, 34 at the most. Bottoms Bridge to Archiva Valley Bridge, we'll see those merging delays right now as you're heading from 64 to 95, Macy.
All right, Candace, thank you for that breakdown there. People in several states are grappling with new rounds of severe weather this morning. We'll take a look at the dangering ranges from extreme heat and wildfires to flash floods and slow-moving thunderstorms. Plus a new warning from President Trump to Russia looking to put an end to the war with Ukraine. Plus a new deal with NATO that could help bolster Ukraine's defenses.
Watch 12 News today, starting at 8 a.m. on the CW Richmond.
8:14 the time. We're taking a look here at your commute where we were noticing delays getting across or merging here from Chippenham to Powhite this morning. Those slowdowns were stretching back as far as our Iron Bridge exit. Those delays are starting to clear out, move out a little bit for us, but it's still lingering here, starting at Hull Street, continuing towards Midlothian, and then as you get closer towards Powhite, we'll still see delays even along Powhite. So 5 extra minutes to get you through that should be hopefully enough to get you where you need to still on time. We'll still expect those delays through our Bryan Park interchange, including 95 south from Chamberlain into Richmond, 64 east starting at Staples Mill, and our Shaka Valley Bridge really backed up as we merged to 95, Caroline.
All right, well, today is another First Alert weather day. We saw one yesterday. We had a flash flood watch that actually turned into multiple flash flood warnings. That flash flood watch has been extended today. Afternoon showers and storms will continue into midday, and then we're going to see a little bit of a decrease in that rain chance this evening. Now, looking at that flood watch, most of central and southern Virginia seeing that extended flood watch today. We are seeing some flash flood warnings too, and these warnings were originally set to expire around 7 a.m., but they have been extended to expire around 11 a.m., though we do want to make note that most of the very high water has been improving. So we're seeing a little bit of improvement with the flash flooding, but water is still definitely very high in these areas, counties including Colonial Heights and Petersburg, Sussex County, Prince George, and Dinwiddie. We're seeing some of those flash flood warnings extended into 11 a.m. And most of the rain, though, has moved out. We're just seeing a little bit of some light showers, but we could see some more downpours later into the afternoon. Around lunchtime, could see some of those showers and storms start to pop up, and then continuing around 5 o'clock as well. But then later into the evening, we do think that most of it will have moved on from us. So we should be a little bit drier this evening, maybe even see some clear skies just before sunset. So this evening, if you are going to the Dave Matthews Band's concert at Allianz, I think you might be okay. The doors open, I think, at 5:30. So about a 50% chance that you could see some rain and storms, but it does decrease as we go later into the evening. I think they start at around 7:30 this afternoon and evening. So should be mostly dry for that concert. Temperatures getting into the upper 70s overnight. And then tomorrow we're seeing another rain chance, just about a 40% though for some scattered afternoon showers and storms. But with the already saturated ground, that could also cause another concern for some flash flooding. And then our rain chances do taper off, but we do keep a consistent about 20 to 30% chance throughout the weekend as well for an afternoon shower or storm. Macy?
All right, thanks, Caroline. Right now, firefighters at the Grand Canyon are racing to get 2 intense wildfires under control. Those fires have already destroyed a historic lodge along with dozens of other buildings. They've also forced part of the park to close for the rest of the season. About 50 park officials live in that area that's burning, and they've all been forced to evacuate. The Dragon Bravo wildfire in the more isolated North Rim has been burning for more than 10 days and currently has no containment. Meantime, parts of the Northeast are getting slammed by heavy rain, causing very dangerous flash flooding there. New Jersey waking up under a state of an emergency declaration. New York is coping with subway station damage that also affected some train cars. The FAA now warning of air travel impacts, and southern Pennsylvania officials report a number of water rescues. Maryland and D.C. were also in the core threat area overnight. And search and rescue efforts are back on after heavy rain and flooding hit parts of central Texas over the weekend, but the threat's still not over yet. A flood watch is in effect in the Hill Country, complicating an already challenging search for those still missing from the deadly flooding on the 4th of July. Morgan Chesky has more.
Dangerous downpours threatening the Texas Hill Country, with flood watches covering areas in recovery mode. The death toll statewide from the flooding, now more than 130 people, as new details emerge about the crucial moments the waters rose. At 1:14 a.m. on July 4th, a family spokesman tells NBC News Dick Eastland, the owner of Camp Mystic, received a National Weather Service alert on his cell phone. The spokesman says Eastland then walked outside to assess the property, called family on walkie-talkies, and between 2 and 2:30 a.m., staff began moving campers to the Mystic Rec Hall. Eastland later died in the floods. Following the tragic loss of life, growing scrutiny over the lack of warnings from officials, who are the only ones able to tell residents to evacuate or shelter in place.
It wasn't like a tornado. It wasn't like a hurricane even. It lasted all day.
We asked Kerrville City Manager Dalton Rice on who has authority to issue alerts at a city level.
And what person would that be?
So ultimately, it's me. Ultimately, I have the ultimate authority to be able to make those decisions based on.
Rice adding he was managing rescues and says other local officials can also blast out citywide warnings.
Did you issue one?
Yeah, so I did not, but that does not mean that something did or did not get issued. I don't know. We haven't dove into looking at the after action stuff.
Officials say full reviews are still coming. Until then, the search for the missing now in its second week. These divers clearing off debris above before scouring the murky depths below. A painstaking process for closure that may never come.
That was Morgan Chesky reporting. Now, Texas animal shelters are overwhelmed with all the dogs and shelters all over the country for adoption. That includes the Richmond all over the country for adoption. That includes the Richmond SPCA. Thanks to the group Wings of Rescue, a plane load of dogs and cats landed in Richmond just over the weekend. Because of the group, they are able to get them out of that disaster area, and these animals are getting a second chance at a long and happy life.
It's some of the best work that we do because we've done these disaster rescues year after year, and we certainly know and hope that others in the field, would be here for our animals if this were to ever befall our area.
18 cats and kittens now recuperating at the Richmond SPCA, getting stronger and healthier before they find their new forever homes. Switching gears now, President Donald Trump places a deadline on Russian President Vladimir Putin, and the clock is certainly ticking. Trump says the U.S. will impose 100% tariffs on Moscow if Russia refuses to enter a ceasefire agreement with Ukraine. There would also be secondary sanctions imposed on other countries that buy oil from Russia. In a White House Oval Office meeting Monday with the Secretary General of NATO, Trump also unveiled a plan where the U.S. would sell a variety of weapons to NATO members, which would then be transferred to Ukraine. And back here at home, a Virginia woman born on a military base is having a tough time proving she's a U.S. citizen. It became a problem as she was trying to get her real ID back in May. Dreyer Bauer was born on a military base and has been told that the system considers her a woman without a country. The issue stems from a problem with paperwork where she cannot apply for the form she needs because she is over 18 years old.
I've had a passport, it's expired, I'm reapplying for that, hoping that I'm not going to have any more problems. I have my Social Security card, my voter's card, my whole life. I've never had an issue until I went to get my real ID, and they were adamant, absolutely not.
Now, she's been in touch with Congressman Morgan Griffith, who is working to help solve this issue. 8:22 now on your Tuesday morning with more rain on the way today and even tomorrow. We are on your side to help you stay safe. What Richmond officials want you to do to get ready in case of potential floods. Caroline.
expecting a lot of rain just in the past 24 hours, upwards of 7 inches near Petersburg and parts of Dinwiddie County as well. But I'll give you your full hour-by-hour forecast coming up shortly after the break.
On your side, this is 12 News Today.
All right, we're taking another look at your Doppler radar. Most of that heavy rain has exited. Just our southernmost counties seeing a little bit of a light rain. Most of those flash flood warnings are still in place. Those aren't set to expire until 11 a.m., though it is worth noting that the high levels of water have improved. They're still there, though, but we are seeing the flooded roads definitely seeing some improvement. And Emporia's flood warning has expired as well. So we're looking at the first alert weather day through this evening for another flood watch that is coming through. We're going to keep seeing that until midnight tonight as well. We're going to see some more downpours later into the afternoon and evening. And as we go through the next 4 hours, we're staying mostly dry early in the morning, but our rain chance definitely starts to climb up as we go into the midday hours and afternoon hours. Candace, how are we looking on the roads?
All right, Caroline, I'm trying to figure out what's going on here with this VDOT camera. It looks like a wing of a plane. Does that not look like that to you guys? So I'm trying to see what's going on here along. Okay, cool. Let's just move on then. So all is well. All right, so that was in Dinwiddie. Andrew confirmed that that is not a wing of a plane, or a tail of a plane, rather. So Chippenham a little slow here as we're heading towards Powhite. Expect some delays there as you're merging. Also seeing slowdowns as we head into Richmond through the Bryant Park Interchange and Chaco Valley Bridge. More news coming up after this.
There's only one station that's on your side.
Our team works tirelessly,
bringing you stories that impact your life and connect you to our community.
On air, online, on any screen. And that's why we will always be 12 on your side.
We investigate stories that impact you
and inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Why are they hiding it? They're dropping the ball, in your opinion.
Exactly.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
I was shocked.
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 on 12 on your side. On your side, this is 12 News Today.
On this first alert weather day, downpours drenched the Tri-Cities overnight, triggering a flash flood emergency. Petersburg officials confirming several rescues, saving people from rising waters. And with even more rain in the forecast, areas already impacted by high waters could be at risk. Caroline Matheny's updated first alert forecast just moments away. A busy Tuesday. Good morning. Thank you for waking up with us on 12 News Today. It's now 8:30. I'm E.C. Moores. This morning, many people in Petersburg and the Tri-Cities are waking up to find flooded streets after a night of downpours. Several people reaching out to us overnight, reporting seeing high waters in their basements. Our Destiny Harris is working to learn more about the conditions.
Well, the good news is that conditions here in Petersburg are improving. Earlier, my boots were covered with water and water was rushing here out of the creek. Now, this is Lieutenant's Run Creek. I'm standing here on McKeever Street, right by Wythe Street, West Wythe Street, which gets on to I-95. But water is still standing in the road and it's still extremely dangerous to drive through. Petersburg city officials did not come through to close this road, but residents are using their best judgment and not traveling through these high waters. And this gauge of the river is usually 4 feet. Right now it's measuring at about 12 feet, which is considered major flood risk for this area. And the flood warning has been extended through 11 a.m. earlier this morning. That was just until 7 a.m. But again, it's been extended for a few hours. So if you're heading out this morning, make sure you turn around, don't drown, and do not drive through those high waters. In Petersburg, I'm Destiny Harris, 12 on your side.
You got to be careful, Destiny. Thank you. Richmond now trying to limit the impacts of potential flooding as numerous cars got trapped over the weekend in neighboring counties. With more scattered storms likely today and tomorrow, officials are urging everyone to do their part to limit the impacts of potential flooding. Richmond reporter Masa McNamee has the details.
Remnants of the weekend storm left on Reedy Creek in the city's south side.
Oh, where it's a little bit like
deposit there,
yeah.
sand.
And this week, it could get even worse. But while the water levels rise when there's a heavy rainfall and sometimes flow into residents' yards, Fred Huntington tells me it's infrastructure that's a bigger concern.
The creek itself, to me, is not as significant an issue as the runoff coming from above us, since this is a low point here.
Richmond's Deputy Coordinator for Emergency Management, Bill Lawson, tells me Reedy Creek is one of the more problematic spots in the city, along with Bainbridge Street and Magnolia. It's why his crews are out right now clearing drains to try to prevent issues this week. He's encouraging people to contact 311 now if you see anything else that needs to be cleaned.
It only takes 8 to 10 inches of water to start moving a vehicle.
And while the city is doing its part, Lawson also reminds neighbors and businesses to be alert too and check your gutters.
If your road is flooded, do your children have a plan to go to a neighbor's house or meet up somewhere else? Businesses, it's the same sort of thing. What do you have in place if your building is flooded? Do you have plans? Do you have the right insurance? Can you operate differently for the time being that your building's impacted?
It's all hands on deck this week, as Lawson tells me he's coordinating with partners like Dominion and the Department of Emergency Management, while once again emphasizing turn around, don't drown this year to keep neighbors like Fred Huntington and his home safe.
Well, I appreciate, maybe it's a little bit hyped up more than it needs to be, but I don't think so, because I think what it is, it helps people to hear, be on the alert, be aware of your surroundings, be aware of other drivers. Be conscious.
McNamee reporting. Now, the Department of Parks, Recreation, and Community Facilities will also be monitoring levels in the James River, but its team is asking you to follow any signage at any river entry points. Developing now in Henrico, police are investigating another tragic drowning. This time, a toddler has died after being pulled from a pool on Saturday night. This was at a home on Suckler Court. Crews responded to a medical emergency call, but say the young girl was unresponsive when they arrived. They did what they could do to keep her alive. She later died in the hospital. And in Hopewell, state health officials say a swim advisory for certain parts of the James River could be in effect for at least a few more days. That advisory stretches from Old City Point waterfront to Berkeley, including all of Tar Bay. It stems from a sewage spill over the weekend, which resulted from an electrical outage at the city's water treatment plant. Now, thankfully, recent rain and sunshine is helping dilute the sewage. New this morning, Hanover County Public Schools is removing books from school libraries at a faster rate than any other school division in the state. That's according to the state legislature's Watchdog Commission. It says Hanover took 125 books off the shelves between July 2020 and March 2025. Goochland had the third highest number of books removed, taking down 34 titles during that time frame. And just a few days after launching its new Office of Opioid and Substance Use Response, the city of Richmond introducing a new weapon to fight the crisis. Harm reduction vending machines like this one you see right here are being installed at key locations across the River City. They provide free 24/7 access to life-saving resources like Narcan. The first machines are now at Marshall Plaza on East Marshall Street as well as Southside Plaza. And the city of Richmond is looking to help small and minority-owned businesses grow with a new training series. The program aims to help local owners better understand and engage in the government contracting process. So starting today, a session will be held every Tuesday. That's going to be from 6 to 7:30 at the main branch of the Richmond Public Library. And there's going to be 4 sessions total. To read more about the series or to register, you can head to rva.gov/minority-business. 8:35, Caroline, how are we doing out there right now?
Well, right now we're finally drying up a little bit before another round of rain enters the region. In the past 24 hours, we saw a lot of rain. In fact, some areas saw upwards of 7 inches of rains where they saw those very dangerous flood warnings. Parts of Petersburg and northeastern Dinwiddie County saw upwards of 7 to 8 inches of rain, which caused those flood warnings to continue until 11 a.m. this morning. Now, there is improvement, but it is still very dangerous to be out on those flooded roads. So we have another first alert weather day today as those flood watches have been extended until midnight tonight. We're seeing this ongoing flash flooding risk from overnight storms, but continuing with more downpours coming this afternoon. But we are seeing that rain chance tamper off as we go into the evening. So right now in Richmond, 74 degrees, lots of clouds outside, but occasional clear pockets of blue sky. Finally, a little bit of relief from that rain, but we are seeing some more downpours coming through into the afternoon. You can see on our hour by hour earlier in the day between 11 a.m. and noon, we could start seeing some of those pop-up showers and storms. A little bit more widespread though around 2 to 5 o'clock this afternoon. And then we should see it move off this evening. So your outdoor evening plans may be good to go. We still keep about a 20% rain chance in there, but we should be drying up overnight and we'll have another rain chance return into tomorrow. Candace, how are we doing on the road?
Yep, Caroline, so we're still seeing those delays as we're heading into Richmond. That's here, Crater Road to the Downtown Expressway, a 22-minute commute. We had delays near our Chippenham exit. That's starting to clear out a little bit for us. I'm hoping next time we check back in, it'll be closer to that 20-minute mark. Ladysmith to Belvedere, we're back in the green now, following some delays there near our Chamberlain exit. We're also still noticing some slowdowns here. This is 288 as we're heading from Chesterfield to the west end. We'll see some congestion there. Macy?
All right, Candace, thank you. Still ahead, a new study reveals a growing trend between kids and addictive chemicals. The product is becoming increasingly popular among young kids. First, though, organizers are sharing new details about the 2028 Olympic Games in Los Angeles. What will make those games different from previous Summer Olympics? Welcome back. LA 28 holds an event marking 3 years until the start of the 2028 Olympic Games. Officials releasing the first look at the competition schedule. Opening ceremonies will happen Friday, July 14th, followed by closing ceremonies on July 30th. Athletics will take place in the first week, with swimming competitions happening in the second week, and that's a swap from the traditional Summer Games schedule. The first medal of the Games will be awarded in Venice Beach for the triathlon. Meantime, a former Richmond Braves manager getting a big honor from the Flying Squirrels. The team is giving Grady Little this year's Paul Keyes RBI Award. Little spent 3 years managing the Braves and led them to the postseason all 3 years. The award is named for Paul Keyes, the late VCU baseball coach. It's given out every year to someone who has made a major contribution to baseball here in Richmond. Little will accept the award next Thursday at the Squirrels Diamond Through the Decades night. Big congrats to him. All right, Candace, over to you. How are we doing on the roads?
Yep, so we're still seeing roads that are closed due to flooding, Macy. That includes this one here, Turner Road, in between our Belmont intersection and Jessup Road intersection. This road has been closed for us all morning, even overnight here, due to that standing water. We had south of town where we know Boynton Plank also impacted due to that flooding, high water. Boynton Plank Road closed here between Westgate Road and Dinwiddie Avenue. We also have Church Road closed, that is partially blocked between Weekly and Lakefront, and then Boynton Plank here closer towards 460, and those ramps at I-85 also shut down. We have a couple of traffic alerts that could impact your commute later in the week. We'll continue to see crews working through late July. We'll talk more about these in a few. Caroline?
All right, well, today is another first alert weather day for the flooding risk continuing. We have another flood watch that has been continued from last night into tonight, ends at about midnight tonight. But we're seeing those flood warnings continue right now until 11 a.m. We're seeing some more afternoon storm and downpour chances, but the chances do decrease as we go later into the evening. So this is more of a midday afternoon summer rain chance. Your flood watch is still in effect. It's going to be for most of central and southern Virginia. Those warnings are still there for parts of Petersburg, counties including Prince George, Sussex County, Surrey. They're seeing those flash flood warnings. And me and Andrew were actually just looking at some of those creek observed water heights, and some of those are still peaking. So it is very dangerous to continue to be trying to get on these roads right now, as the water levels are very high in some of these areas. So just be very extra aware and turn around, don't drown. Now, looking at the Doppler radar, mostly light rain right now. Most of the heavy rain has dissipated, but we will see that rain chance return. Gets a little bit more widespread from 2 to 5 p.m. this afternoon. But then after that, it looks like most of it starts to exit our region this afternoon. But then after that, it looks like most of it starts to exit our region, drying up a little bit. So evening and afternoon plans should be good to go, especially if you were heading out to Allianz for the Dave Matthews Band's concert tonight. This is night 1 of 2. Doors open at 5:30, and we're seeing that rain chance around 5 and 6 p.m. at about a 50%. So you may want to bring a jacket or an umbrella of sorts. But I do think that it should be mostly dried out by the time Dave Matthews comes on the stage. But we could see some delays with that. Just make sure that you're staying dry and safe, especially with any flash flood warnings that may pop up from the additional downpours we may see today. And then tomorrow we're seeing another rain chance. Temperatures getting up into the upper 80s, close to 90 degrees once again. Our rain chances drop off starting later in the week and beginning in the weekend. There's still about 20 to 30% chances for those afternoon summer showers and storms. And with our ground being so saturated, really any of those rain chances could cause some concern for flooding. And then as we go into the beginning of next week, we're seeing some more rain chances pop up. Temperatures getting into the lower 90s. Macy?
All right, we'll take it, Caroline. Thank you. Police say the man accused of killing 2 women in a Kentucky church on Sunday was scheduled for a domestic violence hearing the next day. Police say 47-year-old Guy House had warrants for his arrest when he shot at a state trooper during a traffic stop in Lexington. He then fled to the church where he shot 72-year-old Beverly Gum and her daughter Christina Combs before police shot and killed him. While motive still remains unclear this morning, a relative of the 2 women says the gunman asked for one of her sisters when he arrived at the church. A community is left searching for answers after a tragic weekend fire at an assisted living facility. 9 people are dead after the fire in Massachusetts. More than 30 people were rushed to the hospital for various reasons. At least 1 is still hospitalized in critical condition. 5 firefighters were also hurt, but they are expected to be okay. Emily Ikeda has more as questions grow.
Dramatic rescues at a senior living facility where a fire tore through late Sunday, killing 9 people between 61 and 86 years old.
Be advised, we have a victim on the 3rd floor.
Firefighters squeezing residents through windows and carrying them down ladders at the Gabriel House in Fall River, Massachusetts.
All the smoke from the hall went right in my face, and all that I could do was just stand there and choke.
Residents' desperation worsened by physical limitations. So many pulled from windows, relying on oxygen tanks, wheelchairs, and walkers. 71-year-old Lorraine Ferreira says when she opened her door, smoke engulfed her room. What was going through your mind when you realized you couldn't reach the exit?
That I was going to die, and I was breathing in the smoke, and I just knew I was not going to make it.
After screaming for help, a firefighter was able to break her 2nd floor bathroom window. What would you want to say to that firefighter?
I'd want to say I love you, and you'll always be in my prayers. And thank you so much for saving my life.
Ambulance after ambulance transported around 30 people to local hospitals. 1 person, according to authorities, remains in critical condition.
Do you have any other medical units available? Negative.
There were more rescues out of this building last night than there have been in the 23 years that I've been a firefighter.
Investigators saying tonight the cause of the fire does not appear to be suspicious, but some residents are raising concerns about the condition of the facility. The owner of Gabriel House did not respond to our request for comment. Fire officials say he is cooperating as the city's mayor promises a thorough investigation.
What was the staffing like at the facility? What were the fire detectors working like? What were the sprinklers like?
As a heartbroken community remembers the lives lost.
I'm just happy that I got to talk to him. Sad. Sorry. It's just sad.
We're thinking of those victims this morning. 8:48, a major ruling from the Supreme Court will impact the future of the Education Department. The justices ruled the Trump administration can proceed with its plan to carry out mass layoffs at the Department of Education. The justices lifted a lower court ruling that had indefinitely paused the president's plan. Lawyers for the Trump administration say they are not closing the department, just downsizing it. But critics say that will make it nearly impossible for the department to do its work. A Texas startup says their new technology could help stop school shooters in their tracks. Campus Guardian Angel designed drones to protect students and assist first responders during school shootings. They are small enough to fit in a backpack and are equipped with cameras and metal tips to shatter glass. The company says the drones can fly up to 100 miles per hour and can reach a shooter's location within 15 seconds. Several North Texas departments are already testing similar programs. A Mexican border city with the U.S. is at the center of a growing scandal after authorities discovered hundreds of bodies at a crematorium. Valeria Leon reports.
Mi mamá falleció hace 3 años.
They thought they had their loved one's ashes, but after evidence surfaced that the Plenitud crematorium in Ciudad Juárez, Mexico, had been handing out fake remains, hundreds lined up for hours outside the prosecutor's office, demanding to know what was really inside their urns.
We need the authorities to help us find out what's going on, so we can be sure we have the right person in our urn.
The scandal broke after a citizen complained about smells coming from a field owned by the crematorium. There, the police found at least 383 bodies piled up. Javier Ramirez thinks her father may be among them.
My father passed away 2 months ago. His body was at this funeral home, Latino Americana.
6 funeral homes hired Plenitud Crematorium, despite the latter having no electricity and a cremation oven that hasn't worked in over 3 years, according to investigators.
It's known that sometimes they handed out ashes that didn't even belong to the families, and many times they weren't even human remains, but animal remains.
Police arrested the crematorium's owner and his employee, and they are investigating crimes related to illegal management of bodies and fraud. But for the representative of Juárez Funeral Homes, these arrests aren't enough to ease the family's pain.
There's no way to fix this in a way that will ease the family's pain. This has become a double tragedy.
So far, the prosecutor's office has identified 6 of the bodies waiting to give their loved ones a proper burial.
8:51 now. The World Health Organization is recommending. 8:51 now. The World Health Organization is recommending countries include a newly approved drug for HIV prevention. It's called lenacapavir, and in trials, the drug was found to dramatically reduce the risk of infection and provide almost total protection against HIV. Now, just last month, the FDA approved a drug as a twice yearly injection for HIV prevention. The WHO recommends the shot especially for groups most at risk and in areas of the world where HIV remains high. A health alert for parents now. Nicotine pouches are becoming more popular with kids. According to the CDC, they've become the second most used nicotine product among young folks. A new study says the pouches draw children in because they have high concentrations of nicotine and because they taste good. All right, nothing gets people shopping like a good sale, right? Well, Amazon proving that during its annual Prime Day event just last week, which of course saw record numbers. The online retailer says 2025 was the biggest year yet, with more than $24 billion in estimated sales. This year, Prime Day was extended to last 4 days. The most common purchases were kids' clothing, home security products, as well as school supplies. The Starbucks secret menu no longer a secret. The coffee chain is making it easier for reward members to find new drink hacks through the offers tab on its app. Starbucks is also holding a contest this week where customers can submit their best customized beverage. The drinks will be voted on and finalists will receive cash prizes. You can build your drink in the Starbucks app now. All right, 8:53 coming up after the break. We'll take another look at weather and traffic right here on CW Richmond. We'll be right back.
Unlocking your business potential takes the right digital strategy and the right partner. At Gray Digital Media, we're that partner you can trust because we know local. We develop the right message to grab attention and drive leads with custom strategies designed to grow your brand and reach your customers across the streaming apps you know best. Your business will show up in the social feeds we all use every day, and we'll help you leverage the power of Google and talk to the right audience on YouTube. Our marketing experts connect you with customers right here in Richmond and wherever your audience is. Together, we'll find new customers and get results that matter to you and your business. Cutting-edge strategies backed by local expertise. That's the Gray Media difference. We know local. Let's connect today. GDMRichmond.com. 12 is on your side. in news, on air, online, and in business. We're a partner you know and trust. We're a full-scale media powerhouse, reaching your customers wherever they are, locally, regionally, nationally. Our experience spans coast to coast. Whether it's driving sales, recruitment, or brand building, 12 on Your Side has the expertise to make your marketing campaign successful and profitable. We know what works and what doesn't. Get your message to the right people at the right time, no matter what platform. On Your Side. This is 12 News Today.
All right, we're taking another look at our Doppler radar. We're seeing most of that rain has dissipated out, and it would appear that most of our flood warnings have either been edited or they have been dropped. We're looking at that right now as we speak. But we're going to go ahead and talk about today's first alert weather day for the potential for some more flooding. Our flood watch has been extended into this afternoon, though our rain chances do start to drop off as we go into the evening. Right now in Richmond, it is cloudy. It is very humid outside, but it is mostly dry right now. 76 degrees. The dew point is up to 73 though, so it is very sticky and humid outside. And that rain chance creeps in later into the afternoon. As you can see on the hour by hour, starting around lunchtime, we'll start to see those showers start to pop up. Could see some downpours as well, becoming more widespread into the afternoon, anywhere from 2 to 5 p.m. But then later into the evening, it looks like most of the rain pushes to our west and gives us a little bit of relief. So evening plans should be good to go. But definitely keep an eye on those flood warnings that may occur. Candace, how are the roads looking?
Yep, so we're watching an incident here. This is at 95 right near Maury Street exit. A lot of activity there on the shoulder. Not blocking our travel lane or the ramp, but just giving the first alert to that activity. 288 northbound, we're seeing delays from Chesterfield heading towards our west end. That's typical slowdown. Same thing here, getting through our Bryan Park interchange, Shaka Valley Bridge. Those are our normal hot spots. What's not really normal, flooding here along Turner Road between Belmont and Jessup Road. It's shut down in each direction there. We had south of town near Boynton Plank Road, near those ramps to I-85 and 460. That area is closed as well due to standing water. Avoid the area if you can.
There's only one place we call home.
And there's only one station that's on your side. 12 on your side. Wherever you live in Central Virginia, we live here too. We will always be 12 on your side.
Kids are online now more than ever, but are they digitally secure? Teach them the importance of strong passwords, avoiding suspicious links, and protecting their devices from hackers. The 12 on Your Side safety team wants your kids to grow up safe.
Proudly sponsored by Sparkle Pediatric Dentistry. Every child deserves to sparkle when they smile.